I definitely know the feeling of being so anxious that it literally consumes my whole life and that I don't even do the things I want to be doing in this world because I'm so worried and so just overtaken by this sense of anxiety. Even though I still experience anxiety, I've found a lot of ways that have helped me like crazy to just overcome this and really make it a friend rather than an enemy and let it not control my life anymore. And actually take back my own power. So I wanted to share my advice with everybody. Hopefully you can take something from this video and it can help you as well. What up guys, I'm Cass. I'm a mindset and fitness coach and content creator on here and on TikTok primarily, and on here we talk all about mindset, personal development, spirituality, mindfulness, any like type of inspiration or thing I find interesting I'm wanting to talk about. And today we're talking about anxiety because that's something I've struggled with for years, and I think we all struggle with to a certain degree, even if it's not like diagnosed anxiety or anything. We've all experienced the feeling of being anxious, and so I hope that what I can share in my experience with all of this can help you as well in some way, even if you just take a little bit from this. So it's kind of funny, right before I started filming this video, I started getting so much anxiety that I didn't even notice at first, just because like sometimes when I film, my mind goes blank and I'm like, what am I talking about? How do I speak English? Like, I don't know what's going on. And so that started happening when I started filming, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm so worried, so anxious. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm literally making a video about anxiety and I'm having it right now, which is fine. And I was like, I need to use some of these points I'm literally talking about right now. So I like grounded myself, like breathed a little bit, and just went through the points I'm literally about to talk about, and it helped so much. And now I'm just like here again, and not that I don't have anxiety, but I don't know, it's not like controlling what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and it's not overtaking anything anymore like it kind of started to at first. So that's the first thing I want to talk about, is usually it's like an unconscious kind of reaction to things, and sometimes we're not aware that we're having anxiety and that we're experiencing this worry, and we're just like at this uncomfortable place and reacting from that place. And we can still, and this is kind of a hard concept to maybe understand, but we can still have anxiety yet not act upon that fear and that worry. I keep burping, I don't know why, man. Usually when we're having any feeling, we start having thoughts that match that feeling. But the thing is, we can choose to have different thoughts, and feelings do not have to align with each other. They usually do if we're just not aware of it, and that's our default reaction, is of course we're gonna have thoughts and feelings that align. You're not gonna be feeling super sad and having the most positive thoughts ever. But in a lot of situations, we can choose to think differently, and in turn that slowly changes our feelings, and we usually act upon whatever feelings we are having. And so if we are starting to become aware of when we're having anxiety and different other maybe unpleasant feelings, we can actually make the conscious choice to think differently and to not act upon those unpleasant feelings, and act in the way that we feel is true to us and really aligned with our inner true selves. So here's something I found so important, is switching from being anxiety into noticing the experience of anxiety. Because a lot of the times when we have a feeling, we start to believe that we are that feeling and we become that feeling. Everything in us, every thought we have, every action we take, every single thing in our life seems to hold that same energy of the unpleasant feeling we are having. But it doesn't need to be that way. Instead, we can take this other sort of role of being the observer and noticing that we are experiencing a feeling. And then you start to kind of become these like two separate sort of entities, if you want to think of it like this. This is just the way I think of it. You become these two sort of separate things. You're still feeling the anxiety, you're still like in that place of anxious thinking and feeling or whatever, but you also realize, oh, that's just a feeling, that is just what I'm experiencing right now, and feelings and emotions are ever changing. This isn't who I am, and I don't need to kind of feed into this and perpetuate this and believe that this is of like utmost significance right now and this is who I am. And you kind of take this role of just like, what does this feel like? What am I experiencing? What emotions am I having? How am I sensing this in my body? Like, what sensations am I having? What thoughts are going along with this? And you can also just notice those thoughts as they come up, the anxious thoughts, the worrisome thoughts, and notice them and let them come up, because you can't push them away or else they're going to just come up 10 times the amount that they were before, and just be like, oh, that's a thought I'm having. But you can choose consciously to not believe those thoughts and not buy into them and think that that is the like ultimate truth. And this takes a lot of practice, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot. But if you start to become more mindful, that's why mindfulness practices like meditation and journaling have helped me so much with anxiety, is because then I start to become more mindful of what I'm feeling and thinking in moments where I'm not feeling so good and where it is a little harder to be mindful, to remember to be that way. So another thing I kind of just touched on, but it is to allow every feeling and thought to come in instead of ignoring them or trying to push them away. Pushing things away and ignoring feelings are just repressing them and just making them stronger. It's literally feeding into them in this sort of backwards way that we're not always aware of in the moment, but they're gonna just come out in worse ways in the future. And so to allow these feelings will be uncomfortable. Like, trust me, it will be uncomfortable, but it kind of lessens the harshness of these feelings, because you're just like, oh, it's okay to feel this way. So one thing I always remind myself is that, like, I'm a human and it's okay to not be perfect, and perfection doesn't exist, and we are meant to feel everything. We're like, I am meant to feel anxiety sometimes. I am meant to feel sadness sometimes, to feel loneliness, to feel confusion, like anger, whatever feeling. No feelings are ever bad. And so that helps me a lot, is to realize that it's okay to feel this way, to allow every feeling to come in, and then become curious about it instead of being like mad that you're having this feeling. Like, that's what I used to do a lot, is I would have anxiety and be like, oh my god, why can't this just go away? I don't want to be having it. Why am I like this? Like, all these negative thoughts started popping up, and I started feeling worse and worse, because then it wasn't just anxiety, then it was self-hatred, then it was insecurity, then, you know, it was frustration and anger and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wow, now I'm having 10 different like negative emotions instead of just allowing the anxiety to come in. Then becoming curious about it and asking yourself sort of in an objective way, like, okay, what thoughts are happening right now? What emotions are happening right now? Where am I feeling this in my body, and exactly what am I feeling? Like, am I feeling a pit in my stomach, or is my chest kind of hurting? Is my breathing shallow? Like, what am I feeling? And so that gets you just into your body more and makes the whole situation more objective, because now you're like, oh, what's actually happening? Like, you can just focus on the mind stuff of feeling anxious, but you can also just be like, oh no, this is just a physiological reaction to having some worry or having some uncertainty in life. Like, physically, I'm just changing right now, and there's a difference in my body. And sometimes that can be just like helpful, because you become more objective. Alright, so before we get on with the rest of the video, I wanted to jump in here and let y'all know about my email list and Patreon if y'all want more exclusive content, more mindset advice, and more just one-on-one sort of interactions, and want to join a community of like-minded, positive, conscious people. So you can join either of those by going to the links down below. I'll have them linked, and I'll put some cards up here too. But for the email list, you can also join by getting the free 7-day mindfulness for fitness course that I've created. It has like meditations and different journal prompts and stuff, and you don't even need to be into fitness to like benefit from that. So you can get that and it'll automatically put you on the email list. But I wanted to share that and just let you guys know what's available and how to like connect with me more and get more of my content. And especially on Patreon, obviously you can go to the website and it'll have a lot more information on all the benefits for each tier, but you can join for as little as $1 a month. And yeah, just wanted to let y'all know about that. So another thing that has helped me also as a little bit of a prevention method is consistent deep breathing. So sometimes when I feel anxiety coming up and I feel the pit in my stomach, I feel like I'm starting to sweat a little, like any physical sensations I'm feeling that tell me I'm having anxiety right now, or thoughts that come up that tell me that, I just stop and I take literally 3 deep breaths. Just really slow in through the nose, really slow out through the mouth, or in and out through the nose as well. And that literally like will help the parasympathetic nervous system work. Like it'll activate it and slow you down and calm you down. A lot of anxiety sometimes is just that we're like doing so much and so like amped up that sometimes all we need is to slow down for a second. And it can literally be as short as 3 breaths. Sometimes that like gets rid of the anxiety right away. Another thing I've just started doing that's helped a lot is physical touch. So literally when you physically touch yourself or you have physical touch with somebody else, it tells your brain that you are safe. Because why would you be like hugging someone or, you know, like maybe resting your hand on their shoulder saying like, hey, what's up, are you okay, or something like that, if the situation wasn't safe. If you weren't safe, you'd be like fighting or flighting, like it'd be the fight or flight response, you know? Sometimes it can be as little as like giving yourself a hug, or like sometimes I'll just like rub my hands together like this, or something little like that, like rubbing my arm or like my wrist, or something so little can just calm you down and really ease the anxiety because you're telling your own brain that you are safe. So as we're coming to the end of this video, I want to remind you all that any feeling is okay to have and it is valid, and anxiety is no different, and it can also be something that's worked on day to day. It's not easy, it's not fun, it's not pleasant, but you can work through this. And once you start doing some of these practices, or at least for me, it's helped empower me so much, because I'm like, dang, like I can still have major anxiety, I can still feel these things, but I'm not gonna let that control me. I control the feelings, I control my life, not the other way around. And so once you start really implementing these practices and these concepts, it can be life-changing and really, really empowering. So I hope that this reached the people it needed to. In fact, I know it will, because everything always happens for a reason. It'll reach everybody at the exact right time it's meant to. And I hope this helped somebody out there and resonated with you. And if you liked this video, let me know by giving this a big thumbs up. Why does every YouTuber say a big thumbs up? Like, I mean, I wouldn't say a little, but why add that adjective? Anyway, give it a big thumbs up. I'll just go with it. Just comment something if you like this video, if you want to see more about this or more videos like this. Leave a little smiley face down below, or leave any other like thoughts you have or experiences with this, or things that have helped you. Anything you want to share, please comment down below, and I will see y'all next week.